to the Hear You Out podcast, where every opinion is heard and never judged. Topics that most dance around, lie about, or just flat out avoid are discussed right here. Your host, Jesus, gives all viewpoints, no filter, just old school talk that most only have behind closed doors. If you want to listen but not be told what to believe or how to feel, have a seat. Get comfortable and welcome home. Get ready for the roller coaster and get your popcorn ready. Because this will get heated.
All right, Hear You Out podcast. We're back. Another episode. Thank you all for tuning in. We got a good one today. We have a real good one. I got my man June and Gabe with me. What's up, fellas? How we doing?
Good, man.
It's going, bro. The weekend's here. We got a new episode today. It's exciting.
It's gonna be game time. It's gonna be game time. I first want to go ahead and this is a waiver that I want to put out there for everyone, right? Not that we want to lose listeners and followers. We want all our listeners, we want all our followers. But I want to be very clear what this show is about. If you're looking for professionals, if you're looking for people that always want to be 100% right or 100% accurate, this isn't the show for you. Perfectly understandable if you go ahead and you go to another show. This show is a show that's meant for conversation. It's a show that you think of where a conversation you have at home with your family members. You talk about topics, you say things that you feel passionate about. You may go ahead, it may ruffle some feathers, it may not. We go for real raw conversation. That's what this is about. We go for as much accuracy as possible. We also understand that we are not professionals. We're not we're not, running for political seats. We're not doctors. We're not any of these things, but we do our very best to do our research and have those discussions and have those, and really bring the topics to life. So I want to put that out there again. We hope everybody enjoys it. We're going to have some fun here today. Today's topic is going to be something that really we have to talk about, right? Should you trust your doctor this day and age with what's going on with COVID, with what's going on with all these different illnesses and things of that kind? I think it's just extremely important to make sure that we have that conversation. So what I want to talk about here today is, should you trust your doctor? We're going to have a conversation between the doctor and patient relationship. Now, the beauty of this conversation here is we have somebody who's actually in the medical field himself, June. So June, I think there's really no other way to start this. And Gabby, thank you so much for the kind words. We completely agree. All opinions are allowed, every single one. Nobody's going to be silenced here. June, I want you to go ahead and I want you, just from your experience, before we even get to your thoughts and your opinion, I want you to tell me, what are you seeing recently between the doctor-patient relationship out there?
So for starters, every patient is different. Let me just start with that. Every patient, you hear me good, right?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. So every patient is different.
Much better now.
All right. And with that being said, a lot of patients, when the doctor gives advice, whether it's to give a medication or whatever it is, patients usually resort to Google, which I find it kind of odd because you're coming to the doctor to get help, but and then he offers that help, and then you go home and go to Google.com or to try to find maybe alternatives.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand a lot of people don't like to take medications. So, for example, you have high blood pressure or something, the doctor comes in and he gives you a medication for high blood pressure because your pressure is high.
Yep.
Patients usually like to go the non-medication route, the herb. They like to go through herb and natural resources. But and then usually, I would say 9 times out of 10, they come, yes, I've been taking this, and that, which is not what the doctor prescribed, and their pressure hasn't changed. Blood pressure hasn't changed. So, as a me as in being in patient care, I see that often. And me personally, I don't think that's a good idea, especially, we going off of high blood pressure because that's very common in the United States.
Sure.
So I'm using that as an example.
Yeah.
So me personally, yeah, I don't think it's a good idea to resort to Google for that specific diagnosis. Now, we can talk about other diagnoses and then we can, but yeah, specifically with that, I think doctor's advice is always a go.
Always a go?
Yeah.
We'll come back to that. We'll come back to that one. You know where I'm going with it. You know where I'm going with it. Yeah, you know where I'm going with that one.
Depends on, but we'll get back to that, and I'll depending on the topic.
Yeah. Okay. Gabe, you've also worked previously in the medical field, kind of, seeing patients, seeing them interact with doctors, seeing them interact with nurses. Tell me kind of where you think, things are currently in this day and age.
It's like I guess like what June said, it's a toss up. Patient to patient, depending on how they feel about it. But definitely, I see more patients. At least from working in the hospital, I used to be, the people that used to the transporters take you to like their tests, things for the doctors and stuff like that. And a lot of people didn't want to go because they felt like the doctors were telling them to do certain tests because of price wise. They do the test, they get doctors make money because of the tests, things like that. So I was getting a lot of that working in the hospital. But then we have some, patients that come in and put, 100% into their doctors, where, believing them and everything. And then, no problem with that. So it's just, again, it's just each patient's different, things like that.
So I would like to add, if you don't mind, let me jump in for a minute.
Go ahead.
So usually when patients, a big issue is insurance also. Plays a big part, because most insurance pay more for something versus others. For example, if you got to get a test done, an insurance might pay 50%, another insurance might pay 75, and then the patient is stuck with the other 50 or 25%. Patients need to look at their EOB, which is the explanation of benefits. It usually what it comes in the mail, and a lot of people see that and they throw it out, not realizing that there is usually, it's called an EOB. So it explains your benefits and the coverage and all that. Okay. And a lot of patients don't really see that, because they got the insurance, so they figure insurance is going to cover majority of my treatment or whatever, and that's not true.
Okay. So it comes down to money, I think, a lot of it, right?
Right.
So I guess I'm going to start off with the controversy then. Let me go ahead and let me get the ball rolling on the controversy. The reason why it comes down to money a lot of the times, sometimes the doctors are at fault for that. I'm going to call it like I see it. Let me ask you a question, June. If somebody goes in for a testing into your doctor's office, the results are there, right?
If they're coming for results, yeah, the results.
No. When they get the test done, whoever's doing that test technically can get those results fairly quickly, correct?
Let me go back. So if I'm doing a test on a patient, you're saying that
somebody's doing a CAT scan, whatever it is, in any form.
Yes, the person doing the test can see the results. Yes,
they can see the results, right?
Absolutely.
So why do they then have the patient come back later on?
Because the
week, 2 weeks later,
the person doing the test, they're not doctors. So yes, they can say, "Oh, you have a blockage."
Well, the person can't, right? But the doctor's there. Why can't they? Why can't it? Oh, no, I know that. What I'm saying is the doctor's in the office, not in that specific testing room, in that testing area, but they're in the office, right? I mean, I would say that's fair.
I mean, 9 times out of 10, well, 7 times out of 10, they're not.
Where are they?
And if they are in the office, they're seeing patients.
They're seeing. So I'm going to go back to my original question here. Why then can't the doctors schedule these MRIs, CAT scans, all these different things, schedule it where they can be there to read the results? Why do they have to have the patient come back a second time for the results?
It takes time to read these results. So what's going to happen is this.
Okay.
A doctor is there from, let's just for number's sake, 8 to 5.
Okay.
The patient that's coming to take the test, to have the test done, he's coming at 9 o'clock to read the test. You can't, for insurance purposes also. For insurances is an issue also, because insurance will not pay for both the same day to actually get the test done and also get the test results to see the actual doctor the same day. Insurance won't pay, so that'll come out of the patient's pocket. So technically you're helping the patient and saving the patient money by not doing that. Now, but another reason is because a doctor usually, if the doctor is not there, they're usually doing rounds in the hospital. If you're getting the test done on a Saturday, 9 times out of 10, the doctor is not in the office.
The system is broken then, June.
Absolutely.
The system is broken because if I'm a patient, right, financially, I'm already having to come out of pocket with a lot of these visits, right? My deductible, let's say my deductible hasn't been met, right?
Correct.
So I'm coming out of pocket for a lot of these visits. You do this CAT scan, MRI, whatever it is on me. If
Yeah.
you would have scheduled it with the day that the doctor is there or can be there with me, the doctor technically could have read me my results right there on the spot. So then that way it's one visit, not two visits.
So that's kind of tricky, bro. I mean,
Why?
can it be done? Can it be done? Yes.
What's tricky about it?
The insurance?
And I'm taking the insurance part out of it. I'm telling you, yes, because here's where I'm going with this. What I'm saying is this is a person who has not met their deductibles yet. So they're coming out of pocket still currently. The insurance portion of it hasn't kicked in yet because they're coming out of pocket. Think of this person has like the worst of the worst insurance. You know, there's some insurances that'll cover a certain amount, certain percentage.
Like a patient that self-pay.
Yes. Why can't that doctor? What's the excuse there?
In my office, I can't speak for every other office. In a case like that, in a case that a patient has no insurance, and the patient says, "I'm going to pay for my tests, and I want to pay to see you the same day." Am I able to do that?
Why does it have to be that way? Listen to what you just said. I'm going to pay for my test and I'm going to pay. Why can't that all be one charge? That's where the distrust between patient and doctor is.
It's a billing issue because when you put it in the system, I'm telling you.
I believe you. I'm not saying you're wrong. I believe you.
So it's a billing issue. So it goes back to the system being broken. For example, if you come in, right? Let's say I'm your doctor.
Okay.
You come in. I ordered you to get a CAT scan of your brain, right?
Okay.
You come in and you get your CAT scan, whatever. I'm in the office. If you want me to go in there, I'm taking time out of my schedule. The 20 patients that I have on my schedule from 8 to 5, 8 to 4, to come look at your now because now I'm gonna get backed up in my clinic.
But you're not understanding my question, June. My question is, why can't they schedule it? So now he's not backed up because it's part of his schedule for the day. It's part of the doctor's schedule. This was scheduled already in advance. So he's not going out of his way for his calendar because this is something that was already scheduled. Why can't they do that? Other than what it looks like a cash grab. It looks like I want you to come back a second time so I can A, charge your insurance again, or B, charge you for a second visit.
Well, for the if we're gonna get because it's two.
No, either which way. What I'm saying is either which way, it's being charged for a second visit, whether it's to the insurance or their patient.
But if you're putting the insurance, because it's two separate issues, you can't put both of them together. And I'm going to tell you why. Because the doctors don't have no control of the insurance. They have the insurance is gonna pay whatever they're gonna pay.
Whatever the agreement was, yes, absolutely.
Right? Whatever the agreement was. So, if it's an insurance issue, what's going to happen is the insurance is going to decline to pay for the doctor visit the same day because they already paid for the test. So again, it all depends on the insurance you have. I've never seen an insurance that would pay for both the same day. I've been in the medical field for a little over about 20 years now, and I've never seen the insurance pay for both the same day.
Yeah, Gabe. What you got?
So thing is insurance you guys keep talking about, but in some other countries, what's weird is that only America is the one that has a lot of unhealthy people and everything, but other countries they have free healthcare.
Yeah.
So it's like
one of them, right?
I know it's like one of them is Russia, United Kingdom, Australia, like those type of places. They have free healthcare. That's a big reason to why people don't get the healthcare they need over here in the US. It's so expensive to go ahead and get maybe a set of pills from your doctor if you want to go to the supermarket and grab something for headaches. They make you pay for something that's way extra that you don't need. That's the issue that's coming up a lot. I feel like is that free healthcare in one place, there's none over here in the US is that's the insurance. You keep talking about insurance, but I'm seeing people, over there, not needing to pay for insurance, but they're doing fine.
I agree. I mean, I'm with like that, this individual healthcare and the system is broken. I think that if it was like that, I would have to look into it and see what, the details and the EOBs and all that would be, but I think I would be for it.
I mean, for me, again, this is where And this is what I love about the show is like we can be on different pages, but we're always going to hear each other. And like this is where a major problem, and this is where the distrust is, because it looks. I'm not saying that this is what doctors are doing, but it just looks like it's a cash grab, right?
Mhm.
You're saying that with the insurance company, they're saying it has to be a second visit,
Mhm.
but I can guarantee you, 9 out of 10 patients don't see that. 9 out of patients are
Because they don't read.
saying, well, the doctor refusing to read me give me my results today. They're gonna have me wait or two, So not only now are you gonna make extra money on having, not only are you gonna make extra money on having that, but on top of that, the person is out. Go ahead, June.
And that goes back to me saying most patients don't read their EOBs. It's so important to read that so you can know what to expect when you go to the doctor's office.
Yeah.
It's so important. It's so important, because the EOB I think is a few pages long depending on your coverage, and if you don't read that and you go to the doctor's office and you realize, oh, you got a $50 to $75 copayment, like you shouldn't be surprised because your insurance sends you that in the mail. You know what I'm saying? But most patients, they don't read it. They don't. And I was like that too back in the day. So I get it. I get it. But yeah, I mean, again, I think the system is broken. I think that a lot of insurances is a lot with money, 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 money. And like you said, you brought up a good point. Like if the patient's already there, why not? I'm with it. I'm not against it.
That's my point, is because you got the patient stressed out, especially like if it's a cancer screening. Like I'm stressed. I have to wait days, maybe even a week or two to get my results.
With the cancer thing, that's different. It has to go to the lab, and by the time they get the results, it takes days.
But they can tell you if they've seen any form of a tumor. They can tell you that.
Right. Yeah, they definitely can. But
they can't tell you probably if it's benign or malignant.
That's what I'm saying.
They can still tell you, hey, listen, this is what we found. Like give you, but they won't do it. They won't do it. And then
it goes back to like where I work. I could tell you why they don't do that. Because you start talking to a patient, right? About, okay, so, unfortunately we found a tumor. Now you're stressing the patient out even more because he has a tumor. He or she has a tumor.
So me not knowing anything for a week or two isn't stressing me out.
The best thing is to be quiet until you actually get the whole report. Because if you're just giving the patient half of the results, you know what I'm saying?
But they do that half the time, because I can tell you from experience with my family, right? They found they had found something cancerous in our father, right? You remember that time, and they were literally giving us piece by piece.
And that's why we went
to
what did we do? We took him out.
Yeah. But this is my point, is this is what they do anyways. They do it anyways. They give you piece by piece.
I think that, I think we agreeing pretty much on everything. The only thing is that, no, I think we're pretty much agreeing on everything here, because I pretty much agree with everything you're saying. I agree. The system is definitely broken. And I'm with you on that. Me being part of healthcare, I see it every day. It's broken, and patients do complain. I mean, not a lot, but they do complain about certain things in the healthcare system that they feel that is broken. Like, again, it goes back to what Gabe was saying about the insurance thing, the universal healthcare. Universal healthcare, I think it would be a huge step, but I don't I don't see that happening because,
it's unfortunate, because I mean, I'm looking at something and it says like 40% of people of Americans are not getting healthier because of the pricing, like the cost of it. Like
think of that.
Yo, y'all want to know how much I pay for insurance, bro? Me being in the healthcare.
You probably pay the least out of everybody else.
You think so?
Probably, because I'm assuming you're in the health.
You would think that I may be in the healthcare, I'll get some type of discount.
Yep.
No. I pay a month. I'll tell you right now, I pay almost $1,000 a month. I would say around 700-ish, roughly, which covers me, my wife, and my son, and the thing with that is I still have to pay a deductible. I still have to pay co-payments when I go see my primary care. If I go to a specialty, I still have to pay that specialty, which is more than the primary care every time I go. So, for example, if I go to my specialist, if I go to a specialist right now, we're talking about cardiology, anything
Sure.
outside of internal medicine, especially
Mm-hmm,
specialty. So, if I go to a cardiologist, that's $50. Okay, no problem. He sends me for a test. Depending on the test, it could be $150, $300, $250. It just depends on the test.
sure.
So right there, that's already like I'm paying $200-$300, including that $50, right? Now I gotta come back for the results. That's another $50.
That's my
which is
point.
wild, which is
And,
out of
and
pocket.
I'm with you, but that's the way the system is. That has I don't me personally, that has nothing to do with the doctors. That has to do with insurance. That has to do with the government. That has to do with everything.
In your okay, but that's what you're saying, right? But us as patients that are not in the field, we don't view that
You
as
don't know
that.
that. And that's why I'm here to break the news.
Like, because for me, it never processes to me how you're doing all these tests. Granted, like you said, some tests have to go back to labs and everything, so that you have to wait for. But there's other times where you can get results right away. What is the point of having the person come back? Let's set it up where you can give them those results. That's a problem. That to me, and then you're saying insurance companies are the ones that want that. That makes no sense to me because insurance is also coming out of pocket more money. Why would they do that also? That doesn't process to me either. Now I'm gonna give up, and now here's another thing we're gonna get into, right? We got about 5 minutes before we go on break. You know, June, you and I, right? We had a situation where our pops passed away in August of last year, and the doctors were doing so much for him in the beginning. They were doing they were doing tests, surgeries, all these different things. All of a sudden, the insurance company tells them, "Stop. We're not paying anymore." Then
Yeah.
that conversation all of a sudden switched with the doctors to, okay, well, there's nothing left we can do for your father. There's nothing further. Where is he going to go? Well, do you have a place for him to stay? They were, in essence, kicking him out the hospital. Here's a
Yeah.
man who was not ready to go.
So insurance has a cap. And I hear you. I hear you. But the insurance has a cap. I don't know what that cap is because I don't know, every insurance is different.
So then,
Insurance has
there's a price tag on all of us.
pretty much.
No, not pretty much. There is. If you're telling me
No,
there's a cap, it means there's a price tag
that's
on all of
what
us.
I'm thinking. That makes a lot of sense. Though. That's a good way to put it. Um,
What's
if you're in a hospital, that's only a certain. You can't be in the hospital forever. Insurance and not you can't. That's how they're looking at it. You cannot be in the hospital forever. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna be in the hospital, there's a cap. The insurance, the hospital charges the insurance $200. The insurance comes back and says, no, I'm only paying you 120. I'm just using that as an example.
Sure, sure.
You know what I'm saying? Then it's a negotiation. It's a day by day negotiation. The hospital says, no, we did this, and that to this patient. We use this type of equipment. We use this medication. We use this. Our resources are being used. So I want $200. The insurance kicks back and says, well, based off of our protocol, we're only paying you 125. So what happens? The insurance has to take the 125 and they have to eat that $75. You know what I'm saying? So there's a cap. So the cap would probably be 200,000-300,000, right? In pop situation is cancer. Cancer is very expensive for insurances. It's very expensive. So there's a cap. After that cap, done. That's it. They'll basically talk to the doctor or the hospital, not the doctor. They'll talk to the hospital and they'll tell the hospital, we're done. Like there's a cap. We can't pay no more. And that's exactly unfortunately that's what happened in our situation. And
So, go ahead,
one
Gabe. What you got? Go ahead.
one thing that's bothering me for a little bit of time is when you were saying how much you pay for insurance. If you're not going to, like, if God forbid, but like your kids aren't getting sick, your wife isn't getting sick, hurt, or anything like that, why are you paying still out of pocket when you're paying 1,000 a month to go and get a checkup?
That's part of my. That's what it is. That's the insurance. That I don't choose to. I don't choose to pay
That's
that.
just, I know I'm not saying it's your fault, but I'm just saying what's out. It's the system.
Oh,
Like you're paying $1,000 a month, you're still having to pay 250 to get a checkup. Where's that thousand going?
Yep.
to the
Where's it
insurance.
going?
But why isn't the insurance covering it for you if you're paying out? Like that's the thing that's the system is really playing us that way because we're paying money to a ghost. Like, come
No,
on.
so um, so you're paying 1,000, right? So the 1,000 goes to the insurance. Well, in my case, because I work in a hospital, the hospital has a contract with the insurance company. So if I'm not mistaken, don't quote me on this, I think that money is going to the hospital because the hospital has a contract with the insurance. So that contract is already done. So I don't know. No, I take that back. I take that back. I'm thinking. I'll take that back. It's going to the insurance for sure. It's going to the insurance. The my $700-900 a month is going to the insurance. Then the co-payment is the difference that I gotta pay for my doctor's visits. So the insurance pays if the doctor's visits is 200, the insurance will pay 150, and I'll pay the other 50. Why they're not paying the other? That's their
It's money. This is why there is going to be a distrust between patient and doctor because it's the end of the day the doctor is doing this for money. I don't care what anybody tells me. No one can tell me differently. This is every single doctor. Every
so
single Go ahead. Yeah.
I can't talk about every doctor simply because in the hospital setting, private setting, I don't know. Because a private setting, the doctor owns that facility. In a hospital, the doctor is abiding to what the hospital rules. The doctor doesn't say, I want to accept that insurance, but I don't want to accept that one. The doctors don't they don't have a say so with that. In the hospital setting,
Sure.
in a hospital, in a private clinic, yes, they can do that because they own that practice.
If you
So
become a doctor, 9 times out of 10, well, not 9 times out of 10 actually. Now people are becoming doctors for money. But in the past, people would become doctors because they wanted to help people. If you're becoming a doctor and you work for a hospital that's telling you don't take care of certain people, if I got into it for the right business, peace out.
right.
I'm taking my talents elsewhere. LeBron James, I'm taking my talents elsewhere. Right? Like
Yeah.
that's literally what I'm going to go ahead and do. So, I mean, look, we have a lot more to get into with this. We got like another 30 minutes or so. So we're going to hit these breaks real quick. When we come back, we're going to continue this conversation. We're going to maybe talk a little bit about Dr. Fauci, have a little fun conversation there because we all know how pulverizing he can be at times. So we'll be right back. Don't go nowhere.
Hear You Out podcast isn't done yet, but bills need to be paid. So we'll be right back. Don't you dare leave.
Yo, what's going on, Ant?
What's going on?
I want to invite the Hear You Out audience to hear us out on The Culture. We'll dive into hip-hop news, music, current events, new episodes every Monday morning. Check us out. Peace and love.
Peace.
Yo. Here we go again.
They represent a culture.
You can represent like this. The Culture Podcast.
Hey, it's Izzy from Mom and Pop Scent Shop, where we offer a safe alternative to candles through wax and warmers that provide long-lasting fragrances minus the flame, soot, smoke, and toxins. Our warmers are backed by a lifetime warranty against electrical and manufacturer defects, and our wax is like no other. The best part? You can get most of our products for free and half price. Just ask me how. 863-257-8818. But don't take my word for it. Here's Ashley.
Scentsi's wax warmers are so cute. There's literally something for everyone, and their wax bars last longer than any other brand I've tried.
Hey, it's Gigi with Gigi's Customs, where you can get your t-shirts, tote bags, budget binders, cups, and notebooks customized any way you'd like them. Your satisfaction is guaranteed. You can find me at Gigi's Customs on Facebook, spelled GIGI''S Customs, or contact me through my email, gabby'scricket@gmail.com, spelled GABBYSCRICUT@gmail.com.
And also, we can't forget BarkBox. Can't forget that. Make sure that you go ahead and you look and you claim this offer. If you go to barkbox.snlv.net/LPOODJ, you go ahead, you make your purchase of your BarkBox, and you also get a free puppy bed. Go ahead and do that. It's a $50 value. Go check it out. Make sure you use that link. Again, it's barkbox.snlv.net/LPOODJ. Don't miss out. All right. Well, we got a little bit, it got a little intense, a little heated, which was awesome. This last conversation, and I kind of let it be known where I stand and how I feel doctors just aren't doing their job. I do want to touch on something really quick, right? Because, June talked about the medicine and, prices of medicine are insane. Absolutely insane. Now,
I can comment on that whenever you're ready.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. You comment first, and then I have something.
Bro, the medications. Oh my God, bro. So in my job, I'm not gonna say where I work or what I do, just where I work at a hospital. Let me leave it at that.
Okay.
And we deal with a lot of medications, a lot. And there's a few medications. Patients with insurance, these medications for 30 days, $500-$600 for this medication. I'm not exaggerating because they bring me and they actually pay for it because these are life-threatening medications. When I tell you life-threatening, it's life-threatening medications. And I use that because I know that for a fact because I'm extremely familiar with this medication. I deal with it all the time at the hospital. If they don't take it, like this is life-threatening. Is one of those things that you need. They don't have a choice. So I have to get some of my employees to do a prior authorization. So a prior authorization is they basically have to go through the insurance to try to, get it at a lower price. And basically, I have to get the patient's W-2s. Look at all this we got to go through. I have to get the patient's W-2s from the previous, from the last year, submitted to the insurance company so they can see that, look, the patient cannot afford this medication on a monthly basis. So if they get approved, they get it approved for a whole year, which is great, for free. If they don't get approved, then I have to do an appeal. And then that's a whole nother thing where I got to get the doctor involved for this medication, which can last weeks. Now, through these weeks that passing by, there's times that the patient is not taking the medication unless we have it because we get samples. So we give it to the patient. Like, it's crazy, bro.
So let me ask you a question. Have you heard of a blood thinner medicine called clopidogrel?
Clopidogrel.
How expensive is that?
Plavix is not too expensive.
On average.
Plavix can be for a patient that doesn't have insurance.
Sure.
Maybe $100, $75.
Okay.
I'm just throwing that number out there.
Does it have to be that price?
No, but the person that puts that price is the manufacturer.
Right.
I know it's all.
So, have any of you heard of a gentleman named Mark Cuban? Mm-hmm. Mark Cuban, owner of the Dallas Mavericks, NBA owner of the Dallas Mavericks, also famous for the show Shark Tank.
Mm-hmm.
So he just recently came up with a new website. New website is called, matter of fact, I'm going to post it up here on the page. It's Cost Plus, costplusdrugs.com.
Oh, I heard about this.
Now, I have a problem with this. The news is saying that he's doing this, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you know what they're not doing? They're not telling you the name of the website. They're not giving you the name of the website. Do you know why they're not giving you the name of the website? Because that's going to impact the big boys, the CVS, the Walgreens, all of these other pharmacies. Now, that Plavix that you're talking about, June, retail price, in most cases, at the low end, $60.24.
Right. So, okay. Yeah.
Do you know how much he's selling it for on his site?
$10, $20?
$5.70.
Yeah, that's wild.
He's probably finding it. I don't know, but he's probably getting that from another country where it's cheaper and getting it. Because some people, what they do is they get mail-in order pharmacies where they can mail it from Canada because Canada prescriptions are cheaper. So, which is smart, and we need that. We need that. I mean,
have you ever heard of a medicine called clonidine extended release cafe?
Clonidine?
Clonidine, yes, sorry. Yep.
Yeah. That's for blood pressure and
pretty expensive medicine, right? Over $100.
I don't know how much that one is.
Retail $132.20. You know how much he's selling it for?
for patients that don't have insurance, right? But that 99.9% of insurances cover that.
Yeah, but they're gonna cover up to a certain amount.
No, they'll cover. Well, the insurance that I've dealt with.
Yeah, exactly. Certain insurances.
That's
but
what I'm saying.
But okay, so $132 if for those people that don't have insurance. Do you know how much a person can purchase it off of his website for? $11.40. That's just dumb. That's just dumb. And the list here goes on and on and on. I mean, again, I beg of everybody, please go take a look at this website, costplusdrugs.com/medications. Just please take a look at it. Look, I'm getting no promotion out of this. There is no affiliation between myself and this company, but this is something that potentially can save lives. And I want for everybody to be able to have that opportunity and, have their life saved if they can be. So
sorry,
please,
guys, I'm eating, I'm starving. Don't get on me. Don't get on me, Jesus.
This is completely unacceptable, completely unprofessional on the show. What's new? What's new with him? So yeah, so please make sure that, take a look at this. Go to that website. If you go to your doctor recommends something and you do your own research and you determine you want to go ahead and take medication, don't go to CVS. Don't go to Walgreens. Check this site first. Have your doctor send this over there so they can get it for you. Because go ahead.
What I can say is that, I mean, if your insurance covers it, just get it. Don't, you know what I'm saying? But if your insurance don't cover, then yeah.
No, I disagree. Because what you're still doing is you're promoting for these insane prices on this medication.
From that perspective, yeah.
Yes. Okay. So the only way to stop this insanity is by going somewhere else. Start hurting them where it hurts the most, in the pockets. So again, costplusdrugs.com/medications. Go take a look at that. Again, you can get so many different medications at literally, I kid you not, a fraction of the cost. I mean, here's just one right here. I'm going to show it one more time on this screen. If you look at this medicine, the retail price is $2,502.50. You can get it off of this site for $17.10. I beg of you all, please go take a look at this.
So if you're saying that, right, even if you have insurance, then why have insurance then? If insurance is gonna pay, for,
but you can have insurance pay this. You can, on this website, they also take insurance as well.
Okay, see, I didn't know that. Okay, I thought it was more for a self-pay.
Yeah, no. I'm not gonna tell people come out of pocket if they don't have to come out of pocket. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that.
All right, there's no way. So if they can go there, put their insurance information, and they absolutely, I agree, 110%, bro. I agree.
So now let's go ahead and now let's continue on the conversation, June, regarding the trust that patients have with doctors. I think this is, again, extremely important, because one of the conversations that I've had with someone that's deep in my heart is, they've been diagnosed with cancer recently. The doctors are recommending radiation, etc., all these different things. The patient is refusing that.
That's patient's choice.
Patient's choice, right? Would we say 10 years ago that we would have that problem? Or would 10 years ago patients just listen to their doctors? What has changed from now to, say, a decade, 2 decades ago?
I mean, we're living in a different world now, bro. Like, you're talking about 10 to 15 years ago. I mean, internet was just starting in the early 2000s. You know what I'm saying?
That's bringing me right to my point, June. That's bringing me right to my point. Google. Is Google helping us or hurting us when it comes to the medical aspect of things?
It depends what you use it for and which way you use it for. Because when you
come on, bro.
No, the medicine is broad, bro. Are you talking about diagnosis? Are you talking about prescriptions? Are you talking about?
I'm talking about both.
From a prescription standpoint?
I'm talking about, I go to the doctor. The doctor tells me you have A, B. I recommend you do C.
Okay.
Now I can go on the internet, and the doctor recommended me to do C. So when I go on the internet and I see what C is, I can see all the adverse events that have happened. I can see reactions that people have had. I can see all of these different things that is like, whoa, wait a minute. I don't think I want to do that. Why is the doctor recommending this? This says, 10,000 people have had an adverse reaction to it, an allergic reaction.
So you understand that Google doesn't really give you answers. Google is just what people have put in the past in Google.
Okay.
Go ahead, Gabe. What you got?
Google's also helping with, I mean, it can be in the past, but if it still happened to people at that time, it's letting other people know about it.
Right.
I honestly think Google is in a mix of helping people with it, because now we're getting remedies that people are doing it organically, and like are not only people are able to save money, but they're like it's working better than compared to some other things. So it's a
And
mix. It's just depending on I guess the type of situation that person's in.
that's exactly what I was gonna say. It just depends on the situation, bro. Every situation is different. Like if we're gonna talk about medications, yes, because patients can do their research on that medication before they actually take it and see, for example, it goes back to our last topic to see if they can find it cheaper. So from that perspective, medication, yes, Google is helpful. Um, should they steer away from the medication? Like for example, Plavix, the clopidogrel. Let's use that since we brought it up, right? It was like $70 or whatever. If the patient says, "Oh, I found something similar to clopidogrel," should they just take it or go to their doctor and ask them first? I personally think that they should stick to what the doctor said. They shouldn't gear away from that. You know what I'm saying? Because, for example, clopidogrel, that's a platelet blood thinner, so that's gonna that medication can be life threatening if you don't take it properly.
So yeah, go ahead, Gabe.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there again. But yeah, okay, that it can be life threatening, but what if they don't want to take the medication? Earth has everything in it. Medication isn't just made from something out of space. If people want to search on Google, hey, what is this made with? Maybe they can make their own type of organic remedy, because there's probably stuff added into the medication itself that's not good for us.
I agree.
So that's where Google comes in clutch, because there's 7 billion people on this earth, and at least one person knows every single ingredient that's going to be good for us without giving us the bad stuff that's going to hurt us in the end.
Right. And that's why people, like you said, people sometimes go to herbs and stuff. But again, we're talking about a blood thinner. We're not talking about a high blood pressure medicine. It's totally like with blood thinners.
So June, I'm gonna give because you're bringing up really good points, but this is where the distrust comes into play. I'm gonna bring up our father again from August. They were recommending A, B, C, D. Perfect example, right? They recommended for our doctor, for those, not to get too personal, but they were recommending a specific surgery for our father. They said, once we do that surgery, we can then, once he heals, we can go ahead and do chemo, right? To heal our father, right, June? That was what they told us. Immediately after the surgery, he now has started having complications. And then all of a sudden he wasn't healing. And then it went from a week from now, we're gonna start chemo, to more than a week, to further, to all of a sudden, there's nothing we can do. We can't do chemo. We're basically giving him a death sentence.
Yeah.
We listened to the doctor step by step on that one.
That was rough, bro. Absolutely.
We listened to the doctor. We did exactly what the doctor said. Right. Had we said, no, do chemo first and then do the surgery, there is a potential, maybe not a high potential, but there is a potential that at this moment in time, our father would still be with us.
No, I don't know. I don't know, because we don't know this. When they went in there, we don't know the severity. They don't know the severity of it. You know what I'm saying?
We don't, but you just said it right now. We don't know. We don't know. So that's what I'm saying. I can't say 100%, but I can tell you this right now. We did it their way. And did he make it?
Right. But we might have extended his life a little longer. He could have.
But that's my point. Okay. And what did he want us to do?
He didn't want to go.
Exactly my point. He wanted us to extend his life, right? So had we not done it their way,
there was no way for us to know, bro.
Agreed. I get it. I'm not saying that, but what I'm trying to tell you is this is where the patients don't always trust the doctors, because the doctors aren't always correct. I truly believe had they not done that surgery, there is a possibility that he would still be with us right now. But you know what the doctors did gain out of doing that surgery in the hospital? They gained more money. They gained more money out of doing that surgery.
Yeah, I mean they're gonna check for surgeries.
Exactly. And then immediately, once all of a sudden they couldn't charge the insurance companies no more, they said, "Peace out, go somewhere else."
I mean,
that's exactly what happened. Hey, Isabel.
Another thing.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say another thing that I hear a lot about, from even working in the hospital a little bit is doctors and nurses, they don't grow that attachment with family members and stuff, but when they see a family member that's desperate, that's when they try to get more money out of them. So
And a
that's
perfect example is when I told the doctors, hey, listen, I can go ahead and come out of pocket for my dad's health. All of a sudden, they were giving us options. They were giving us options.
See, this is the thing. This is the thing. And I'm going to just be blunt. You know, realistically speaking, they have to get paid for their job, bro. Let's be real here. You know what I'm saying?
Of course, absolutely.
So if the insurance says we're not going to pay anymore,
okay,
you being in that doctor's shoes, the insurance, the doctor's assistant nurse, whoever handles the billing aspect of it, if the doctors, if they tell them, okay, we did the surgery, pass that through the insurance, boom, they pay for the surgery, right? So once they pay for the surgery, then they get back an email. The insurance says we already met our cap for this patient.
Mm-hmm.
What is the doctor to do? Because the doctor, if the doctor holds that patient for 2-3 more weeks, like what is he to do? Like they're gonna keep treating this patient without getting paid. So it goes back to money.
You're not wrong about that, but you're not wrong about that. The problem is, and again, the discussion and the topic that we're having is, should patients trust what the doctors are saying? You were gearing on the side more towards if the doctor says to do A, B, you should do it. I'm gearing on the opposite side of, hold up, no, I'm going to do my research first because it's the doctors are not perfect. The doctors are just, they're not perfect. And this is a perfect example. And then another example, we're going to use our dad again. We took him to another hospital, didn't we, June?
Yep.
That other hospital was willing to do A, B, C, D for him when we first got there, right? Yep. What happened within a week of him being there?
What happened?
That was it. They were like, "Oh, there's nothing else we can do." They were like, "Yeah." They were like, "Oh, he has to go to hospice. He has to do this, right?" They were telling us all these crazy things, right? They didn't want to help. Within 1 week,
because the insurance already met their cap. I knew. I already had a feeling that's what it was, and I knew that was the insurance met their cap at the other hospital. So once they see a billing from a different hospital for the same diagnosis, they're like, "Wait a minute, we already met our cap, and it hasn't even been 6 months." You know what I'm saying? The cap, I think, is on a yearly basis.
But look, okay, I have something here. Isabel's leaving a comment. It says, there is government money to help those whose insurance have decided they won't pay. The hospitals have ways around it. I've worked in hospitals long enough to know this. It will be at a discounted rate, but they will, capital WILL, get paid.
My question is, so I mean, you're not gonna be able to answer it because but like, do you think doctors do this same thing? Oh, we can't do anything else in other countries where the healthcare is free?
I mean, healthcare is free, so no, because they're getting free by the government.
But this is where it looks like they're in it for one thing. They get their money, they do all these things, they're gonna test ABs. That's where I have a problem. Go ahead, June. Gabe, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. That's the same thing I was gonna say. Like, it's just odd. Like, some doctors out there, you can take them to probably a different hospital and then you can find different results because the healthcare is free. Over here, what happens if the person still wants to keep paying, but the doctors are just like, oh, we can't do anything else because of the insurance saying that they're not going to be able to. I mean, like, it sounds
effed up. It really does.
Yeah, literally, dude, it's horrible. It's horrible.
Tell a patient, unfortunately, I can't treat that cancer because your insurance isn't going to pay. But they're not gonna come out and bluntly.
No, we had to drag it out of them. We had to drag it out of them
because
we literally had to drag it out, and then they flat out lie to us and tell us, "Oh, we're gonna move him somewhere else. He's gonna go to hospice, but he's gonna stay in the hospital." And then all of a sudden, a day later, after June and I agree, yes, he can go, they all of a sudden saying he has to leave the hospital. Like, this is where, again, it's a money grab.
The insurance met their cap, and they were like, "Yo, the insurance isn't." Technically, what it was is they shouldn't have beat it around the bush. They should have just told us what it is. But as cruel as it sounds, because it sounds real cruel to just tell a patient, "Unfortunately, I can't help you with your cancer because your insurance isn't going to pay."
So you're just gonna lie to me?
You know what I'm saying? I agree. That's That's insane. Just me
And
personally.
according to Isabel, who's worked in hospital as well, there are programs. Why don't you offer those programs to everybody?
Every program is different. So, for example, if we're going to talk about cancer, cancer is very expensive for the healthcare system. You know, there are certain diseases and, you know, that insurance gobble up the bread, bro. Gobble up the bread. You know, HIV, cancer, like those are, I think, if I'm not mistaken, they're the highest. You know what I'm saying? That insurance get the bread.
Yeah, I get it, but again, this is why
So,
there is no trust. This is why there is no trust, June. Because at the end of the day, look at we've been on here for over almost an hour, right? We haven't hit an hour yet, but we're almost at an hour. You tell me what has been the main topic in all these conversations? Money.
money, because
Money.
it
And
goes back.
again, I'm going to bring this website up one more time because I beg of everybody. If you're sick, look at this website. Again, the website is called costplusdrugs.com/medications. You can get medication and you get it at a fraction of the cost. I'm begging you all. Again, I have no affiliation with this. If you know who Mark Cuban is, owner of the Dallas Mavericks in the NBA, also known him from the Shark Tank, he is going different. He is saying, I am going to get you these drugs at a fraction of the cost. If you look at this screen right now, retail price for this specific drug, $2,500 $2,502.50. He can get it for you for $17.10. June and I earlier, we saw the Plavix. Plavix was at a fraction of the cost as well. I'm begging you all, please, let's find a way to fix what is broken. The only way to fix what is broken is by going at these people's pockets. Stop going to them. Stop making them rich. Stop giving them more and more money. We have to stop doing that. So with that being said, we have a couple more comments here. Have you ever gotten any medical procedure done with insurance versus having the same jobs done with no insurance? Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. Absolutely. And this is where we actually talked about is about why can't in some of these procedures, why can't you get results that same day? Why do you have to come back a week later for them to then charge 2 times? So if you have no insurance, you're getting charged twice. June says that that's a lot of it is a requirement by the insurance companies, but it's sad. It's frustrating. It's just it's absolutely just insane, and I can't get over it. Now, really quick, I wanted to touch on Dr. Fauci. I think this is another proof of like, hey, listen, why we can't just always go based on what doctor said. Dr. Fauci, if we all remember, when COVID first started, Dr. Fauci came out and he basically told everybody that don't wear masks. Masks are not necessary. Then all of a sudden he switched. Now, before all these, political people come in and say, oh, but there's a reason why he said it. I'm going to be very clear. He said that because there was a shortages on masks. So he wanted to ensure that those people that needed the mask were the priorities to get it. Fine. That's what he says, that's the reason why he said it. Perfectly fine. But at the end of the day, he still gave a recommendation that wasn't the right recommendation. That's a problem. That's a huge problem. And this is the top scientist doctor in the nation, or at least in the US, right? Like this is number one. This is who everybody looks up to. So if he's not even 100% right, why the heck is anybody going to tell me to always listen to doctors?
So, like you said, this happened in the beginning when COVID first came out, which scientists, nobody's ever seen nothing like that. Nobody knew what was COVID. Nobody knew what it was about. Nobody knew what it was doing to your system. You know what I'm saying? Like in the beginning, people were saying that it was affecting your pulmonaries. But really, this is what I'm saying. Things change. They change now because they ran more tests on it. And basically now they're saying that it destroys your circulatory system. So, it changed. So with Dr. Fauci, I'm not defending him or nothing because personally, I think he should have just kept his mouth shut until he was 110% sure of what he needed to say. So, all I can say is he most likely didn't know. And there was a shortage on masks, like you said. There was a shortage.
That's his reasoning for saying that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say about that situation. I don't know what to say about that.
It's just, this is why, again, I will always say, you know what, let's do our own research. But now going back to Google is not always right either. So you have to be very careful with what you're researching on Google. Google is extremely dangerous. By the way, Ardia says, good RX and a website coupon brought my Trulicity down to $30 4 months after paying that amount. I was never given that option till 4 months later. That's disgusting.
GoodRx is very popular in the healthcare thing. GoodRx is very, I think it's very good. We have we always we have GoodRx cards and we always give them to the patients and stuff on the job. So yeah, GoodRx is very, very good.
Yeah, I'm talking about. I'm over here. Like I have a family member, like I said, right, who is refusing to do radiation or anything like that. It has me concerned because it's like I know in this case the radiation aspect of it is going to be more beneficial than hurtful here. But because of that lack of trust, I understand why they don't want to go ahead and do the radiation. I completely understand it because of the way doctors are these days. They're all over the place. They
Tell me
truly
again,
are all over the place
what's the reason they don't want to do radiation? Tell me again.
because of all the other side effects that you can have from radiation.
Yeah. That's a patient's choice, man, and it's a tough choice. It's a tough choice. Yeah, I didn't want to comment because I honestly that's every individual patient's choice and how they want to go about that situation.
Yeah, it's frustrating because 10 years ago, this probably wouldn't even have been maybe 15. Let's say 15 because internet 10 years ago was starting to pick up. But let's say 15 years ago, if a doctor makes a recommendation, we're probably going with it. But because of the distrust, because of where medicine has gone and how deteriorated things are going, it's sad, man. It's so sad. This is where the patient-doctor relationship must be fixed. It has to be fixed. And the only way to fix it, yes, Gabe said it best earlier when he talked about universal healthcare, where now money is no longer a factor anymore because it's automatically covered.
So now, if you do universal healthcare, the government is going to be more involved now. The government is the one that's paying. So, now it's going to depend who your senators are. It's going to really be important.
Like but the pricing is what the price is. The price is what the price is.
Right, but the government can change those prices. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes, they can, but it's not going to impact us. It's going to impact the doctors, but it's not going to impact the patients.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So
and to be honest, I think if that happens, that's where the doctors come back that went to school to want to help people, not for the money. So
yeah, I want those people. I don't want the doctors I don't want the people that became a doctor to make hundreds of thousands of dollars annually. I want the doctor that did it because they truly want to help people. That's the doctor that I want taking care of me. That's the doctor that I want to go ahead. A doctor, I recently went to a doctor and he was flat out telling me, everywhere that I was wrong. I respected that because you know why? He wasn't telling me all the fluff and everything like that so that way I could keep going to him. No, he flat out told me like, look, you got to do this, you got to do that. You're not doing it. So if you don't start doing it, you're going to have this happen to you and that happen to you. I respect the hell out of that.
Yeah.
Because what that does for me is it's going to push me. But at the same time, I know that you don't want me to keep getting sick so I could keep coming back. Because let's be real, the doctors don't make money on the visit. The doctors make the money on the comeback. Why do you think there's still no cure for HIV/AIDS? You can live with HIV/AIDS. You can live with it, but you can't. But notice it's not cured. It's not cured. You can live with it, but it's not cured. It won't ever fully go away.
Cancer and HIV, I personally don't think it's ever going to go away because that's the money maker for these insurances.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's where I stand on that. Those two are like the biggest money makers, and now, COVID. So.
I mean, it's if you really think about from the point of view from the amount of money that's been donated to cancer research, it's probably, oh my gosh, dude, I don't even know. Like I'm gonna try to look it up just because it's probably an insane amount, dude. It's absolutely an insane amount. Okay, 2019 alone, $145.9 million. Since 1946, $5 billion has gone into research grants to the best scientists across the country. How far have we come since then?
I mean,
to curing cancer. You can live with it now, but to actually curing it, how far have we come?
I mean, I think we've came far from the beginning, from when it first started. I don't know when they first detected it, 1940s, I think. I don't know when they first detected it, but I believe we've come far. I mean, with radiation and all that stuff, I believe we've come really far. Now, do I believe that a cure? Because there are rumors that, you see, again, it goes back to Google.
By the
You
way, it
go,
was the 1500s, the first
you,
cancer case in the
oh,
1500s.
okay, see, I didn't know that. Okay,
Yep.
so yeah, 1500. So what I'm saying is, going back to Google, if you Google in Google, it'll
Mhm.
tell you that there is a cure for cancer. You know what I'm saying?
Google will tell you there's a cure for cancer.
If you Google properly, yes, it will tell you. Not in the United States, though.
Okay, it's gonna tell. It may tell you for specific cancers. I don't want to say all We can't
I
say
was
all
gonna say, yeah,
cancers.
we have to be cautious now because I
You're
don't
right.
believe that. Okay,
Specific
okay.
cancers, like if you have stage 4 and it already spread, I don't know. But
Mm-hmm.
the key thing is the word. The word is cancer.
Yeah, sure.
So, but a doctor won't tell you that.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
hey, there you go. Another doctor won't tell you that. Why? The
because
money
they
is in
want
it.
you to keep coming back. They need you to keep coming. I'm sorry, June. If patients stop
No.
going into your office, June. If patients
They
stop
have to
going to,
follow.
if
They
you
have to
cured
follow.
everybody, hold on. If you cured everybody in your office on the first visit, how busy would your day be after a couple of months?
I get it. No, you're right. I get it. But you got to understand, follows. Doctors have to follow what the FDA says. They can't. Come on. They have to base. They have to base it off their license. So if the doctor tells a patient something that's outside the FDA, they can lose their license because they went to school, they have their license, and their license is basically protected by the FDA. So basically, they have to follow the FDA. So if they're not going to tell you something that's not FDA approved, they're not going to give you something. They can't legally. They can't. They can't write a prescription for something that's not FDA approved.
Okay, they can't
So that
legally
goes
write a
back to the
prescription.
government.
They
That goes
can't
back.
legally write a prescription, but I'm going to kind of go back to what Isabel was saying earlier. They can give advice. People
No,
can give advice.
they
Okay, they
cannot.
can't give advice. They can't.
No.
So they can't tell you how to better yourself. Is what you're saying?
If
Their
it's not,
one job that they
if
have, and I'm sorry, I'm really passionate about this. I'm not mad at you, but I'm just frustrated about the
it's,
situation. The one job that they have is to make you better. They can't do that.
I love this, Jesus. We got to give him a name when he turns into this.
I'm sorry, but
We
just
got to give him a
listen.
name.
Listen to what you're
Hey,
saying, dude.
tell him out. We got to give him a name when he turns into this, and
Listen,
we're gonna find it, Gabe. 'Cause I love this.
but no, yeah, but I mean, I definitely like what he's saying. It's
I hear what you're saying.
you went to school to help people get better, but you can't give them advice on how to get better.
No,
That writing a subscription is completely different because you're telling that
By the
person
way,
to
audio
do
says
this.
big bad papito.
ooh, I like
Writing
it.
writing
BBP.
a subscription is completely different.
Writing a prescription is completely different, right? I agree with
Yeah,
that. I
but
agree
like
with that
letting
one.
them know, like, hey, maybe this can help. Like that's not, that's giving them advice. That's not.
See,
Oh,
this is the thing.
that's
So
not
let's
putting
say,
it on paper.
Okay.
okay, I got a perfect example.
Okay.
I'm a doctor,
Yes.
and not for real, guys. I don't want to get.
I get you. I get you.
All right, I'm a doctor, right?
Mhm.
Jesus comes to me. God forbid, he has high blood pressure. He doesn't want to take medication. He tells me, Doc, is there anything that besides medication that I can do? I'll be like, you know what? Yeah, there's this medication that's not FDA approved, but it's been shown to help patients, that are taking it. So the name is blah 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 blah, right? You take that medication, and something happens to you because
Okay.
you took that medication that's not FDA approved.
Mhm.
That's not. Wait, but
Why
what?
can't you? Why can't you? Why can't you say that with a waiver? This is not FDA approved, so I want to be clear. I can't tell you definitively that you won't have a reaction to this. I
That
can tell you. I can
that
tell you
happens.
that other patients have taken it and X and X has happened.
And that's
That
where we were coming
happens
from.
now.
It's the advice.
Is
It's
the
the
advice
advice that doctors giving.
is the advice, but not a recommendation. Got it.
Okay, yeah.
That yes. That yes. Advice, but not recommendation. But then, if a doctor ends it with, you know, I'm telling you to do this, but understand that this is not FDA approved.
Down goes Fraser. Down goes Fraser.
Of course.
But
At
yeah, I
at
mean,
the end of the hour, too, right?
Yep, just
So,
about.
is FDA approved? I'm sorry. If the doctor can tell him, look, it's not FDA approved. Um, you know, this is something that I'm telling you, but it's not FDA approved. I honestly, I don't even know if they can do that. I'm gonna be honest with
That's
you.
a problem if they
I
can't.
don't know if they can do that.
That's
So
a problem if they can't, because
don't
I
tell me
want a doctor that's going to give me the best of the best options. That's all I want. Give me all the options. Let me be the one to choose. If you're telling me, nope, take this medicine and take that medicine. Like I had a doctor like that. Every time I would go, they were just the simplest of things. Oh, yep, here, do this. Oh, yep, do that. Oh, yep, take this. Okay, I'll see you back in a week. We'll see how it's going. No, you're not going to play that game with me where you keep having me come back because you're charging me for the visit. Plus, I'm having to come and do that. Like, no, this is not happening. And I know we've gone over it, but it's just something, again, really passionate about. The relationship has to improve, June. And I think you would agree with that. It has to improve.
Yes, I agree.
And the only way to do that is to get this out of there.
But
have it be from the government. Take the insurance out of there. Have it be fully covered.
I'm with you. But it sounds like you guys think that the doctors are the ones that, because a lot of it is, I would say 90% of it is insurance.
Yeah.
Okay.
95% of it is insurance.
So like you're saying, it is insurance's fault for not doing a lot of these things for us. But yeah, doctors are pretty smart. Doctors know more than what the insurance knows about what's going to help people.
Yep.
Why can't they give that opinion or that thing to like, maybe this can help you, but this can also happen if, for like doctors don't do that. So that's when the doctor's fault comes in, because they're not telling us that there's another option maybe.
And I don't know the legality of that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. They are allowed to give advice, but they are not allowed to recommend outside of FDA. Let me say that. I know that for sure. Now, when it comes to giving advice, it's a fine line. I just don't know the legality of it.
That's a problem. I want a doctor that can give me all of the advice. Not that I can't tell you this because my boss is going to get mad at me.
No,
I don't want that doctor. I don't want that doctor.
FDA, they can.
That's part of their boss. That's part of their boss because they can lose their license.
Yeah. So, yeah, they're not gonna risk their $200,000 a year. You know what I'm saying? For
money. There it goes again. There it goes again.
Just throw that number out there because there's doctors.
No, but that's what it comes down to again. They're not going to risk their money.
Yeah.
So look, I mean, this was an awesome show. We're gonna keep doing these lives. We're gonna try different times. I know with the live, it's always a little bit more challenging. We're gonna put this up on YouTube. I know YouTube, we average about 2,000 to 5,000 viewers per show. So I really look forward to, hopefully this will get us some really good views when we get it posted up there. We appreciate the feedback, the interaction, Nadia. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that. And we're gonna be back. There's gonna be a lot more. We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna go and give these sponsors their shout outs one last time. I think everyone deserves it. So before we go ahead and sign off, let's give these sponsors one last time all of their shout outs.
Yo, what's going on, Ant?
What's going on?
I want to invite the Hear You Out audience to hear us out on The Culture. We'll dive into hip-hop news, music, current events, new episodes every Monday morning. Check us out. Peace and love.
Peace.
Yo. Here we go again.
They represent a culture. You can represent like this. The Culture Podcast.
Hey, it's Izzy from Mom and Pop Scent Shop, where we offer a safe alternative to candles through wax and warmers that provide long-lasting fragrances minus the flame, soot, smoke, and toxins. Our warmers are backed by a lifetime warranty against electrical and manufacturer defects, and our wax is like no other. The best part? You can get most of our products for free and half price. Just ask me how. 863-257-8818. But don't take my word for it. Here's Ashley.
Scentsi's wax warmers are so cute. There's literally something for everyone, and their wax bars last longer than any other brand I've tried.
Hey, it's Gigi with Gigi's Customs, where you can get your t-shirts, tote bags, budget binders, cups, and notebooks customized any way you'd like them. Your satisfaction is guaranteed. You can find me at Gigi's Customs on Facebook, spelled GIGI''S Customs, or contact me through my email, gabby'scricket@gmail.com, spelled GABBYSCRICUT@gmail.com.
Thank you for tuning in to the Hear You Out podcast, where every opinion is heard and never judged. If you like the show, make sure to subscribe and leave us a comment. If you really want more opinions, follow us on Facebook at Hear You Out Podcast, on Instagram and Twitter at Hear You Out Pod. Want us to cover a specific topic? Send us a message on our site at hearyououtpodcast.com or email us at contactus@hearyououtpodcast.com. Until next time, remember, you don't have to agree on everything to coexist.